Okay, so let's try this again. I'm going to go back. So, I was trying to explain that my dear friend Gonzo, Dr. Gonzalo Tamez Pena, he written this to me in one of our many exchanges. Gonzo held dual doctorates out of Dartmouth, one for applied mathematics and the other one for biochemistry. The man was a master astrologer in every astrology there was, with the exception of Uranian astrology, and he recognized its uniqueness. But he was unable to find many people with whom to unfold the many mysteries that Alfred's offerings. And it's unfortunate that he's not here right now to contribute to our work. We need his mathematics, his passion, and everything that he held in his heart and his love for astrology. The entire practice of astrology is theoretical. Uranian astrology, more than any other system, is at the threshold of proof, and the reason for this is our goal. Nice and I have always shared the common goal of establishing proof. I think that what I saw happen to him when his children were murdered, it marked me. And he'd sent out an email telling everyone what had happened, and he asked for space and time to process this horrific event. And what I witnessed and what he got was this avalanche of theories from a bunch of long winded, truly worthless astrologers. Imagine having your children murdered and having all these Vedic, Western, and asteroid astrologers send you their vague musings on his small children having their throats slit. Because that's what happened. And this is why I stick to and study and trust only Uranian astrology, because none of them, not a single one of them, was even remotely close to a clear explanation. And worse, they did it anyway. The man had his children's throats slit. And they're writing to him about how Pluto was responsible and Mars was responsible, and there was some Mars Uranus in there, uh, but no one really said, "Hey, look, there was a knife that was used, and this was a murder, and there were small children." They couldn't explain any of it. So Alfred, not unlike Gonzo, was brilliant, and he was surrounded by people that have never been able to prove out a single event in their own lives, let alone take on dissecting the brutal murder of two tender-aged children. Being surrounded by people that are looking to capitalize off of scientific work has always been detrimental to science, and it's certainly a pebble in the pond causing all of the ripples in astrology. Every piece of proof we're able to establish is a beacon in a very dark field filled with dark people, and we do it using Alfred Vitte's foundation, his work, his formulas, and his theories. Alfred Vitte is responsible for a lot of things in astrology. He wanted to clear up the field of debris, and for this reason, he painstakingly organized his research, and from what we can tell from his true and actual history, not the bunk that we've all been told and sold for the last 100 years, developed Uranian astrology during the 1918 pandemic. It's right after this that we can point to the first real Uranian astrology theories being brought out into the public and subsequent astrology congresses that were being held in post World War I Germany. Astrologers have piecemealed and cherry picked his years and his work for 90 years. This has been going on. Our work requires a tridial, harmonics, solar arc, the formulas. Cosmobiology came from this. Chart certifications were able to be done because of Alfred's work. Harmonics come from Alfred. Predictive astrology is a result of Alfred Vitte. And midpoints. This is the most accurate form of prediction known to all of the astrology that there is, including horary. And he did all of this on his own with little or no help from astrologers. In fact, astrologers, by and large, were the obstructionists. So why does this matter? The whole of the astrology world and community has sought to control his work and manipulate erstwhile students and clients alike. This work is a painstaking labor of love, and there's only 4 of us actually working to contribute to the development. Our work is proof-driven, not the inscrutable theory astrology has become. The whole of the astrology community has sought to control and manipulate his work. We have found credible discrepancies in the history, work, math, and even the interpretation of Uranian astrology. And we're trying to unfold 100 years of extremely poor stewardship in this work. That's why it matters. Astrologers have no right to make many of the claims that they make. If you cannot prove out past events in their own charts of the many students of astrology, then how are you supposed to be able to do it for anybody else? We establish the efficacy of Uranian astrology doing one thing. We ask our students to follow our instruction and work with us, and we've been able to prove out their life events, not just our own. And when they can't find it and prove the work, we do. And we're not convinced unless they tell us, yes, we understand, we see that. So until someone says to us, we will point it out to them. That's what the server is for. Can you see this? This is what we do. We take their charts, we put it on a screen share, and we ask them, do you see what we are showing you right now? The most logical way to repair this work is to return to the beginning and rebuild Alfred Vitte's foundation. And we're trying to finish what Alfred Vitte so boldly started and did alone. It's time consuming. So please have some patience and moreover, show us a little bit of grace. It seems that there's a few of you who complain more than you cooperate. So our Discord server, this is where we're unfolding most of our work, and all of our proof is worked through with each other on our Discord server. Occasionally we come here to demonstrate our proof, but trust that proof is something we do daily on our server. All of our students have the benefit of direct access to us and do receive one-on-one instruction when needed. It's private and we keep it small so as to be more intimate and for everyone to feel that their privacy is protected. This is where we do chart reviews with our students. And though many of them message us privately and directly rather than the open forum areas, we don't refuse them our time or the benefit of our knowledge or our skill. We predict events for and with our students weekly. It's common. Now, we get a lot of complaints, and we see it. We saw the last show that we did, there was this long winded from Dan Williams in Florida or whatever, basically a bunch of complaints. Now, Dan isn't a student. He hasn't turned in homework. He's attacking us online, and we don't have time for this. We're trying to clear up the Uranian astrology that everyone else has been using and capitalizing on. I think we've done a very good job with our students of being able to help show them the events of their lives. And I think that that's an important feature and focus for the future. We're here not just for ourselves, but in developing the proof, we need everyone to understand that our students are invaluable in this process because we've already confirmed it to ourselves and for ourselves. Each student offers us another opportunity to prove it again. It's their marriages, births, and deaths, graduations, career changes, struggles that help us prove the astrology into a discernible language. Astrology doesn't need more theoretical astrology. What they need, the entire world of astrology and all of the students, is proof. We appreciate all of the contributions that people give to us in the school. Most important, their time, their trust with their charts. We truly do, because you're helping us prove this. But also, there's one more thing that you can do for us, and that's if you do like our work and you do enjoy our work, then please remember, hit that subscribe button and share, like, and comment on social media, on YouTube. Talk about our work. We're going to be continuing to put out more snippets, and I have some charts that I wanted to go over with on YouTube today, but we're going to jump to the server. Okay? We have a couple of students. Now, before we go anywhere, the biggest news that came out, I think, in the past week was Julian Assange. So Julian Assange was freed from prison, and I would think that this would be a big event. Now, I've checked with some sources, and it was verified that Julian Assange was actually woken up at 2 o'clock in the morning in London, in Belmarsh prison. And he was handcuffed, and he was held for another 3 to 4 hours before they actually took the handcuffs off of him in court. I think it's 3 to 4 hours, they said. So about 7 in the morning was his actual release. And I wanted to just state this in case there's anybody who doesn't understand what happened and why he flew in a private jet that cost $500,000 out of London. He's not allowed to fly. Thanks to the United States and England, he's a flight risk. So he can't get on a plane and just fly somewhere. So he needed a private jet. And I think after what we've done to him, the man was entitled to a private jet, but that's my personal opinion. Anyway, Julian was released from prison, and there is a formula for being released from prison. And we posted this on, Facebook, I believe. So just real quick, I want to go over this with you. So this is his natal node Chronos, and it's node Chronos Neptune, which, by the way, Neptune was in a triple pattern that day, don't worry. Okay, so look at the triple pattern that they had. Hold on, wait a second. Okay. So we see this off a little bit, right? Now, I don't know if you know anything about law, federal, criminal, international. You don't get out of prison so easily. These things are planned, they're plotted, but this is the day that this man left. So that's Neptune. Now, I think what's striking about this is not just that we can see the triple pattern of the node Kronos here and to Neptune, and it was more than likely a big shock to Julian, as we can see here. But this is the reason why I wanted to bring this up. If we come to the Aries point, if what we see here is this Moon Venus in direction coming to his node and coming to the Aries point. So this is the wife, the sweetheart. And she worked tirelessly to get this man released. This woman has been an unbelievable means of support for him. And what we also see down here is his solar arc. And the reason I'm bringing this up is that if we just look at his solar arc, we don't see the node Chronos or the triple pattern for the release of and him getting out of prison. We don't see it here on his solar arc. In fact, his solar arc is over here in this Meridian Mars Hades, which is problems, karma with your work. Meridian Mars is your little daily work. Hades is problems, karma, things that need reparation, dirt, issues. So this is him this year. Look, Aries node. These are his relationships, his intimate relationships. So we wouldn't really have been able to tell that he was getting out of prison if all we did was follow the theory that all we have to do is look at the solar arc and the solar arc is going to tell us what's going to happen that year. One of the reasons I'm showing this to all of you is because this is why I tell all of you all the time, you have to look at the whole chart. There is simply no shortcut to any of this. We do see indications up here that something shocking was going to happen. We see, just at glancing at the chart, we see all kinds of coverings here that somewhere he might be benefited, but the actual formula to be released from prison, it's not on his solar arc. Let me show you. Node Chronos to Neptune, released from prison. And yet, when we look at his chart, there it is. And it's in a triple pattern. So there's that. Now, we're going to jump over to the server, and Lyle had some questions, and I asked Lyle to send me some information. He didn't. But I wanted to real quick take a look at what happened during the debate. And we're going to do that on the server. Okay, so for right now, I think that that's going to just close out our lecture for today. Geez, I should really raise that up a little bit. Let's see. Okay, this is Biden's chart, and I have Donald Trump's chart over here. So I have everybody's chart ready to do this, and I have Lyle. I have your chart up here. Selena, I actually have your chart up here. So remember, this is the advantage of being on the server too. If and when we have problems on YouTube and with OBS and all of these things, the server is really the place. Which tomorrow morning I'll be on the server again for a study group. But right now, let's hop over to the server. We're going to call this a day for this particular class and show. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks. We'll be back here in a couple, and look for our snippets. We'll be putting out a couple of snippets. So that's it for us, and we'll talk to you in 2 weeks. And for now, we're headed back to the server.